An open source blockchain platform has been born. Its core mission is to develop easier and more affordable tools for everyone to be able to create tokens and NFTs. For the first time, we're introducing the innovative Tokel platform, a fully decentralized, community-driven project with contributors globally. It offers many new powerful features for artists, content creators, and event organizers and token owners. Tokel is building the future of tokenization together with the help of Komodo Technologies. Creators and users have the freedom to create, to hold, buy, sell, and trade tokens with ease. Developers have the freedom to build on top of the platform's layer. Tokel has features such as simplified token creation tools, token decks, and NFT marketplace. The NFT creation process has an extremely low barrier to entry. Businesses and individuals can now benefit from the token economy by using tokens in everyday life. A built-in decentralized exchange enables peer-to-peer trading. Tokel.io, the future of tokenization to NFT and beyond.
Greetings, I'm Giuliano, and welcome to this episode of Tokel Talk. Today, we'll discuss how artificial intelligence is making its way into artists' hands and into the NFT space. We've got a couple of expert guests to share their perspectives here. Straub is a professional CG artist with more than 25 years of experience. He is credited in movies, TV shows, and games, such as Journey to the Center of the Earth, Mars Rising, Prince of Persia, and more. He also worked on ads for various brands like Cadillac, Subway, Kellogg's, Nestle. Straub has also contributed to YouTube hits such as Iron Baby, Little Ant-Man, and I Pet Goat 2. Straub creates NFTs combining various techniques of 3D modeling, 2D painting, and AI. Welcome, Straub. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you.
Excellent. Also today, returning to the show, is Frank Jepkema. He's a Dutch designer based in Amsterdam who works in a wide variety of disciplines, including sculpture, architecture, interior design, product design, and jewelry. Recently, Jep has delivered a variety of major sculptural projects in the public space. Works include Zwerm in Eindhoven and Air Cells in Amsterdam. Jep is also a big believer and participant in NFT technologies and the metaverse. You can see his amazing skills displayed on his website, jep.com, or live in person. Plus, from Tokel team, joining us today are Kelsey. Hi, Kelsey.
Hey, how's it going?
Wonderful. And Nutella is here too. So glad to have you here today, Nutella. If you would like to contact us, visit our website, tokel.io/tokeltalk. And now we turn to Kelsey for some NFT stats and news. Any interesting stats for us?
Yes, so over the last week, the total market cap for the NFT industry is sitting at over $2.1 billion. There were over 71,000 NFTs sold with a combined sales volume of $55.1 million. The top collections over the week were Bored Ape Yacht Club, Pudgy Penguins, Mutant Ape Yacht Club, Other Side, and CryptoPunks. Over the last week, a Bored Ape sold for $1 million, and a Pudgy Penguin NFT sold for $754,000. An animated super rare NFT titled The Sailor sold for $680,000, and two CryptoPunk NFTs sold for $460,000 and $302,000. There was quite a bit of news over the week as well. Funko is releasing a Mighty Morphin Power Rangers NFT collection. The collection will drop at 2 p.m. Eastern Time today, on the 23rd, on the Drop NFT platform. The collection is called the Power Rangers Digital Pop, and it is inspired by the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and features characters from the iconic Power Rangers universe, including Zordon and Scorpia. A lucky few NFT buyers will also be able to redeem some limited edition Funko physical collectibles. There will be 22,500 NFTs, and the standard NFT will cost $9.99, while the premium is priced at $29.99. Those lucky few who do get a rare NFT will be able to redeem a physical vinyl collectible. The Fox Corporation, who operates the only one of 4 major U.S. broadcast networks, has launched a dedicated Web3 and NFT division. Last year, they established Blockchain Creative Labs, a venture housed in its Bento Box Entertainment Animation division, which aims to create, launch, manage, and sell non-fungible token content and experiences as well as other digital goods. Fox says it's prepared to invest up to $100 million in NFT and blockchain initiatives. So far, they have produced NFT drops for Fox's show The Masked Singer on a site called Maskverse, which spurred more than 300,000 people to create digital wallets to collect the NFTs. They have also released digital collectibles in partnership with WWE, whose Friday Night SmackDown airs on Fox, and will release NFTs for their new animated series Crapolopolis, a new comedy set in the mythical world of ancient Greece from Dan Harmon, who is the co-creator of the show Rick and Morty and Community. Dream Flights International, a luxury private jet company, announced the launch of its digital membership NFT on Upstream, a trading app for digital securities and NFTs. Dream Flight's digital membership NFTs holders will be able to unlock access to premium on-demand charter, private jet experiences, and exclusive events. Dapper Labs, the maker of NBA Top Shots, is launching a new product in partnership with the National Football League. Dapper Labs, the NFL, and its players' union plan to debut on Thursday the NFL All Day NFT collection, which are licensed and slickly packaged video highlights of great plays and other content. The first NFL All Day highlights will go on sale at 2 p.m. on Friday. Both the union, the league, and Dapper Labs have equity stakes and will get a cut from both the initial retail and subsequent secondary market sales of the NFTs. In other news, Spotify has launched a site to sell NFT tickets to live events. They have NFT tickets for 7 events currently available to buy on the website that Spotify launched to sell the tickets directly to fans. So far, 7 US-based events by artists are available to purchase. Anthony Hopkins is launching an NFT collection inspired by his film roles and artwork. The Oscar-winning actor and artist has teamed up with Orange Comet, a Web3 creative studio startup, to create and launch his first NFT series, dubbed the Eternal Collection. The Eternal Collection digital collectibles are intended to conceptualize 10 different character archetypes Hopkins has portrayed over his film career, including Hannibal Lecter and Odin in Marvel's Thor movies, and will also incorporate themes and styles from the actor's body of artwork. And in AI news, Alethea AI, a decentralized protocol designed to build an intelligent metaverse, has launched a brand new product called Fusion, which allows for other NFT projects to be brought to life through the use of artificial intelligence. Alethea AI has partnered with projects such as Fame Lady Squad, Doge Pound, and Pudgy Penguins for their new Fusion project. Alethea aims to increase sales volume, community engagement, and user-generated content. They are also looking for further communities to bring on in the future. And that's what's going on in the news this last week.
Thank you, Kelsey. We appreciate you digging around and doing the dirty work for us to keep us informed.
Oh, yes.
All right. Well, first off, We're going to turn to our guests. We're going to have a conversation with Frank Jepkema. Okay, I'm here with Frank Jepkema, Jep, as we might know him from previous episode. And we're going to talk about AI, NFTs, and art. So, Jep, why don't you give us a brief reintroduction of yourself before we get into that?
Yeah, I'm Frank Chepkema. I'm based in Amsterdam. I was educated as an industrial designer, and I have my own office for 20 years already. And I've evolved from industrial design to working on the border between art and design. And I do a lot of projects in the public space, in the physical space. And since a year of one and a half, I've been starting making NFTs. And I'm very interested in the domain in general.
Excellent. Well, it's very nice to have you on here. You've been using the AI technologies recently. Is that correct?
Yeah, so I cannot be here as somebody that is really actively making AI art already. I'm more like intrigued by it, and I'm observing it, and I've been playing with DALL-E for the first time. I got my introduction account. If you apply right now, you can within a few days or a week you get like an introductory account, and you can start playing with it.
That's amazing. What kind of fun have you been having with it so far?
Yeah, well, just I've been experimenting with it and just fooling around. The first thing you do is try to trick the AI in doing impossible things, and usually he gives some sort of absurdic response.
Hilarious results.
Yeah, and it's all via images, huh?
What does that mean?
Well, the response is just visual. It's not a textual. Okay. So the input is text, and the response is visual. I also worked with a poet on another project that was using AI to generate poems. That was quite interesting. The interesting thing about DALL-E is that they have a function where you just enter some text, and you will get an absurdic image, or an image that is replicating your text. But you can also just add an image of something of your own design, and it will give you variations on it. And that was really cool, because I sort of entered a project I was working on. Like I had like a design problem. I was making an NFT of a tree house, and but a sort of sculptural, poetical image of a tree house. And I was struggling with the stairs, and I just said, well, how like I was adding the elements, like, okay, I have a tree, I have a house, how would you solve the stairs? But I was giving him the image of what I had, not the text. And he came with several solutions for the stairs, and that was it was funny. It was funny.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, so that's helpful.
Yeah, so it's really being used as a tool. Yeah.
Sounds like there are many different ways that the AI can and will be used to generate these images, and there are different purposes.
Yeah.
Do you think
what is crazy is that we are, I don't know, this product DALL-E is pretty new. We're seeing AI art being generated for a couple of months now, maybe. I don't know. I'm seeing it since 2 months. Maybe it's older. But I mean, some people are criticizing it, but just the fact that it's already so realistic and already so on point often, and it's only here since maybe I don't know, maybe a year max. That gives you sort of an incredible potential for this technology. Like it's so young and it's already so crazy. Right.
And how do you see it being used, like going forward, or is it too early to tell? What are your thoughts around this thing as a movement?
Yeah, it's very interesting because it poses all sorts of questions about originality and copyright and what is it to be the author of something They are NFT artists right now that are doing very interesting work, but are they really creating it? If they are just if you're putting a sentence into the AI, is the AI the author, or is the artist that is giving the artist is a sort of client of the AI? So it's yeah.
You mentioned
the,
tools. It is like a tool, like the paintbrush and other, but it's obviously a totally different dimension of tool. But it generates the piece, the visual.
Definitely.
But you have to, as an artist, let's call you still an artist, you have to give the input with the tool, and it gives you what you're looking for, perhaps. But anyway, it does raise some of the most fascinating questions, because it blends the AI with the art, and this is art is such a special realm for humanity and expression and things like that.
And I had a funny interaction on Twitter with an artist called Clown Vamp on Tezos. He has this collection called Raw AI, which is quite interesting because he's inputting like a word like joy. How does AI visualize the concept of joy? And he had a really beautiful painting came out of that, and he's selling it for 1,000 Tezos. And I had my DALL-E open, so I said, well, I can make variations on your joy painting. So I had 5 variations that were all really beautiful on his work of art.
Joy.
And I generated that in 10 seconds, and I sent it back and he so it's really strange because he's selling it for 1,000 Tezos, and I can generate 5 pieces that are equally beautiful within 10 seconds. And
but they're variations.
They're variations, but I'm not selling them, but he's selling them.
But you took his and you put it on the DALL-E, and it made those 5 other ones, right? Now my question is, if you were to put the word joy into the program, would it just give you the same art?
No, absolutely no. I tried that.
And it gave you something different.
It wasn't that.
Does the AI feel you or something? Like, how does it give you something different?
Maybe I don't know, but I think he's using it as a tool, and I guess he calls it raw AI. But if you put the word joy, you definitely don't get that painting. So he must be doing more with it.
Interesting. Well, and
but the painting is, if you look it up on Tezos, you'll see that painting of joy is absolutely magnificent. It's really beautiful.
Amazing. Okay. Well, yes, we should do that for sure. And so it doesn't sound like you think that AI is going to replace the artist per se. People will still have the role as the creator. Or in some sense, maybe it will.
I don't know. I guess it will. I think it's a question of boundaries. Right now, AI is claiming a sort of visual talent that it absolutely has, but it doesn't have a conceptual talent yet. I think it's still just very robotic, right? It's just like throwing you back a ball. But I guess the next frontier is the conceptual frontier, but that's a very complex one because it involves culture, psychology, philosophy. I mean, there's a lot of layers of complexity to a work of art besides the aesthetical one, but it's grasping the aesthetical one already pretty well.
Nice. Yes, indeed. This is very deep, and I wish we could continue, and I'm sure we will in future as well. But like in terms of, let's say, back to the process for yourself as the artist, you've mentioned a couple of ways that you've used the AI. Do you think in making something for yourself, you already are having ideas of what you would like to do with this?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so I have the DALL-E free account, and I used up all my credits within 2 days, and now so they're very smart because now I'm intrigued, and now I have to go over into a paid account, and I'm definitely going to take that. I mean,
we've seen some of the work you've done already, and it'll be fun to see the other productions that you make with the AI. You had mentioned, I remember, metaverse and clothing. Do you think this is something that could help you with that?
Yeah, for sure. It's going to touch every aspect of the creative realm, and I mean, it's going to touch every aspect of life, right? But definitely, the art world is in for a ride, I think, with this. Absolutely.
Perfect. Yeah. Well, we're so glad to have you on to share with us. If anybody wants to find your work or follow you, where can they go?
Yeah, my website is chep.com.
TJEP.com.
Yeah, and if you're interested in my NFTs, it's Frank Chepkema with Frank_Chepkema on Twitter. That's where I interact purely for NFTs. Yeah. Excellent.
Well, we appreciate having you on. Is there any final word you'd like to say before we say goodbye?
No, not specifically. No, thanks. Thanks a lot for having me.
Thanks for coming on. Yeah, always a pleasure. Okay.
Thanks.
Bye. All right. Thank you once again to Frank Chepkema for joining us there. Kelsey, what did you think upon hearing that? Any thoughts came into mind?
Well, I think it's an interesting time for artists because, like quite a few artists that I know are a bit concerned that maybe they will be replaced by AI because, a lot of the AI artwork that I have seen on Twitter and online, it's absolutely stunning. And, like Frank said, it was made in seconds, which would take, even some of the most advanced artists, days or weeks to make.
And we are also, we've got Straub here too. So Straub, welcome once again. And why don't you tell us? Yeah, thank you. Why don't you tell us a bit of your background in CG and in the crypto blockchain space, and then we'll move in towards AI.
Yes, I worked in computer graphic and 3D animation and special effect for 25 years. And one of my specialty was fluid simulation, fire simulation, smoke for special effects. And I'm happy to hear about Jet because I didn't know him, and I'm happy to discover his work and his background, and happy to hear that he studied industrial design because that's what I studied too. At the beginning of my career, I studied also industrial design. And also when I was young, I wanted to become a comic book artist, in fact. But
nice.
Once I discovered 3D animation, I swapped my pen for a Wacom graphic, a Wacom pen, if you want.
Yeah, you went to the graphics on the computer.
Yeah, on computer. But I still love comic book. I still collect them. But now,
what's your favorite comic book? Just to interject there.
I would say Moebius, French comic book artist.
For any of
Moebius.
For any of the, for any of the comic book fans out there, there you go. Okay, so you were saying though, but now?
Now, 25 years later, I worked in a lot of 3D animation, like game, movie, web. And I'm based in Quebec, Canada. I'm French speaking, so that's why I have a bit of difficulties to speak in English, but not so.
Oh, you sound
I
great.
Just need to.
Love your accent.
Thank you. I just need to warm up when I start speaking English because everything I do is in English. In fact, I read English, I type English, but my family, they speak Japanese because my wife is Japanese. So we have 3 languages in the house. So now I'm warming up to English.
Good. Well, it's so good to have you here. Keep going.
And now I am completely submerged by AI art.
Oh yeah, it's really taking over for you.
I just discovered it, and it's completely amazing. And
No, please go on. Go on. I keep
And
cutting you off here.
like Jep said, the most amazing thing is that it's the beginning, but it's coming in like a ton of brick already at once. It's already doing all of this. It's completely crazy. I just don't understand how it can do that, because the AI is not making a collage of everything. It's not just taking small parts of every picture it saw and just
it's not like the sum is not just the total parts. There's some synthesis and addition that it gives of its own. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Yes, it really learn how to draw in certain style, like Van Gogh or Picasso or any artist. The AI look at every images and it learn how to recreate them. Not recreate the picture itself, but to recreate the style. And it creates a completely new image using that style. And you can combine many different artists, many different style, and it creates a new style. That's that part that I don't understand. How is it made? It's completely crazy for me.
Blended style. Maybe that's what Kelsey's talking about, where they are like they're creating new artists this way by blending different styles together.
Yes. And it's the beginning. So there's a lot of flaw right now. It's very hard to do something specific because the AI will bring you somewhere else. You're trying to do something, but it's bringing you somewhere else. And it all depends also on the engine that you use. If you use DALL-E or if you use Midjourney or if you use Stability AI. And the other one I saw is... well, there's another one. There are main four right now that we can use, and everyone has a specific strength and weaknesses, and you have to know how to use those, to use the specific AI engine.
To get like what you're looking for, yeah.
But right now, I'm just trying to create beautiful images. Like, in fact, I'm not expert in anything. Like, I'm not expert in AI, or I'm not expert in NFT, and I don't consider myself expert in anything because I always try to do many things at once. I don't always try to do only one thing and become the best at it. So, but the thing I am always trying to do is just to create beautiful images. So now I think AI is a very good tool for that. And I'm using it just to create beautiful images. And since I'm creating them, I want to share them. So I share them on Twitter. And another way to share them is just to publish them as NFT. And my goal is not really to sell them, but if someone wants to buy, why not?
Yeah,
so it's just a way for me to display them if you want. Like, it becomes
fair enough. You're an artist. That's sounds like an artist. So yeah, just following on Nutella's thought train there. So you've been using Midjourney, is that correct? And
yeah, that's the main one I use.
And what do you do with it? You go in there and you input the words or the ideas, or like DALL-E, can you also input an image? And then you're trying to get a certain kind of result, but you're also open to whatever the AI is giving you.
But not yet with Midjourney. We cannot yet input an images, but you can use a link to an images in your prompt, but it will not really recreate that images. It's just an inspiration, so it's very vague the way it will use the image. But in the future, they will
by saying you don't. Yeah, sorry. In the future, you're saying it's going to be better?
Well, in the future, they will add the feature to really start from an image, like Disco Diffusion, the other one I wanted to mention. Disco Diffusion is really good at starting from an images. and recreating something similar.
Okay. So it really is about just getting a sense as the user. You got to try them all, see what aspects are. Like you're saying, that just the different nuances between them as a user of those tools.
And the main point is the balance between coherence and creativity. Because Midjourney is more creative and DALL-E is more coherent, if you want.
Did you mean like coherence?
Coherence. Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Interesting. Okay, so that's pretty cool. And okay, you've also, like, you've been involved with crypto and blockchain. You're now creating NFTs after doing a lot of work in other industries as well. You're now with these NFTs for fun. You made one using Tokel platform. It's called the Eye of the Komodo. Is the collection? Is that right?
Yes.
And how did you create it?
Yes, that one I created it with Midjourney and Photoshop because I added the logo and I cleaned some imperfection because it was at the beginning of Midjourney, so there was a bit more artifact at the beginning when you were creating images. So I just cleaned them and added the logo. And we say we create those images in seconds, but it's not really in seconds. When you want something specific, you really need to spend a lot of hours to get the AI to output what you really want.
Oh,
for sure. If you want
you're making multiple images just to kind of refine it to find the one that you're actually looking for.
Yeah, because you ask the AI will like Midjourney will output 4 images by default, and then you choose the one you prefer, and you can make variation. And once you get one that you really like, you can upscale it. Okay. That's the way you work with this. So
on all this? Yeah,
I'm I guess, like, being an artist and following an artistic process, like going from idea to, like rough composition to final product. Do you ever get a bit frustrated that you're not really getting exactly what you want out of the AI?
I would say yes, because I think it would be difficult right now to use AI to work for a client that wants very specific things. It's perfect for an artist who is just looking for cool images and just want to brainstorm with the AI. This is perfect. Or if you're a movie director and you want to brainstorm, like, instead of using a concept artist, you can go with the AI and it becomes your concept artist. It will create all sorts of images that will inspire you for creating a movie, for example.
Yes, I'm really excited since this is, like a fairly new technology. I mean, it will be refined over time, and maybe soon enough we'll be able to really fine tune it as artists and get exactly what we want out of it.
But right now, what is really exciting with it is once you get a result that you like, then you can make an infinite number of variation. And it's a lot faster. Like, you will create 10 images that you like in a day, while it would have taken weeks in the past.
So how do you see this affecting NFTs? What are your thoughts around that?
But I'm not an expert in NFT, but I'm really interested in them. And for NFT, but it's difficult to know because I see a lot of NFT artists or wannabe NFT artists like me on Twitter. They create a lot of very beautiful images, but they don't sell them. So maybe there are just too many right now. If you create too many of something, then creating images is one thing, but selling them is another thing. It's for specialists in marketing. Like
right on. No, that's a good insight. That's a very good insight for us. Thank you. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I have definitely seen an increase in NFTs, AI NFTs over the last couple months. almost on every social media platform that I'm on. They're sort of everywhere. So I'm
Mhm.
wondering if you know, like the AI NFT market is maybe a bit saturated. What do you guys feel about that?
But, Mhm.
Some hype. Hmm.
I do, yeah. I do know that you know, in the terms of service for Midjourney, I think they take like a 20% of your profits if it's blockchain related.
But they
Have
removed it.
Oh, they removed that. Okay, that's
Yeah,
awesome. That's awesome.
yeah, they're
And
very
I
open
was
about that.
seeing that so the copyright when people create these AI images, I was seeing that they actually are able to they're able to, you know, copyright it.
But Midjourney, at the beginning, they were saying if you make a lot of money with NFT, then they will take a share. But then they removed that. So and now it's very open. Like you can do whatever you want with Midjourney's image. But other engines, they're different. They all have their own terms. No, it's totally different because there's some random process inside of it. If you put a very specific sentence, like the more specific you are, the more it will converge with a
Okay.
specific style of image. If you want, it will look a lot like the other one if you have a very long sentence with very precise wording. And
See.
that's where real artists with a lot of experience will create a more beautiful image, because you have to know a lot of style, a lot of artists, a lot of specific wording related to creating a
Okay.
picture. It helps a
Okay, that's
lot.
pretty fascinating.
Mm.
Because yeah, I guess you're really inputting that detail in that command, so that's pretty cool. And it's interesting that you made Eye of the Komodo. You use Tokel platform, and it involves some AI art as well as then your own touches. And it seems like a bit of a pet project for you. No pun intended there, or maybe it was.
Yeah,
But
yeah, because
you
I'm a,
yeah.
an node operator for Komodo, and yeah, once I discovered that Tokel will start, I wanted to create an NFT on Tokel platform, because it was both of my passion united together, like art and CG art and crypto are two of my passion. So in Tokel, I see both united together. So for sure, I wanted to create a collection on Tokel. And I chose Eye of the Komodo. It's like it's inspired by the song Eye of the Tiger. Because in that winter, crypto winter, that bear market, we need some will to survive.
Yeah.
And I thought I would create something collectible, like it's the first
Nice.
collection I created, because the eye of a dragon, a Komodo dragon, looks like a marble. And when I was young, I used to collect marble and exchange them with my friends in the schoolyard. So I thought I will create
Beautiful.
some eye like that with many
Beautiful.
variation that you can collect, and I will do 64 of them, because there are 64 notary node operator securing the Komodo network and securing all the ecosystem who are part of the
It's very
Komodo
nostalgic.
protection.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's such a precious collection that you've created for the Komodo community, I guess you could say, and for your own self to share your passions like that. That's incredible. well done, and congratulations on your first collection. And it's
Thank
a
you.
very limited collection, all things considered, only 64 of them. And so how can users get one of them? They're able
But
to
right
bid
now,
on the Tokel platform?
I created some sell order. Like yesterday, I started creating. I didn't know what price to put or anything, so
Yeah.
but it's not very important for me to sell them. It's just to create it and display it, and like you invited me to talk about it at the Tokel Talk. I thank you a lot because it's a way to talk with people, to engage and to share.
Well, we really appreciate having you here to do that. And the artwork really is beautiful. When I saw it, I was blown away, and definitely, yeah, I can't choose which one is my favorite. There's so many really nice ones. And you mentioned the smoke, so now that connects for me because I saw all of them have a lot of smoke and this effect around it. And so now you telling us that you have this specialty in smoke effects and that sort of
I
thing.
did. I made a lot of CG smoke in my life, so I used the words I knew to create the images. Like I wanted some specific kind of smoke, and also Midjourney is very good at creating smokes. Like if you want to make a beautiful image with Midjourney, you just add swirling clouds or swirling smoke, and it will be very beautiful and integrated with all the other elements, with the lights. And that part I don't understand how it works too. How it can create smoke and with the light and all the effect around it, and like you want a certain character inside of the smoke, like you want a king inside of smoke with a lot of element around it, and it will create the smoke and the light and everything look hyper real.
Anything you want.
I don't understand how it works. It's fascinating.
Knowing that makes the images, more individual to me. Like knowing the fact that there's not going to be another one out there, and it's completely, artificially created as an individual thing. It's more NFT like, in my opinion. So I think that in again purely my opinion, that kind of brings more value to it, or at least I appreciate it in a different way.
I think we have to see AI art as digital photography. Like when first the photography was created, the painters was saying, "Oh, it's not art; it's just created with some kind of equipment." But yeah, everyone. And now with digital photo, you could when digital photo appeared, you suddenly could create thousands of pictures. Everyone with their cell phone could create thousands of pictures, but that doesn't mean every picture is a piece of art.
It's a good way to look at it. It's like a different evolution. I was reading that in order to create the artwork, I can't remember exactly whether it was DALL-E or Midjourney. They actually put like 400 million different images through the processor or the processing, however that works exactly. So it takes a sample of 400 million different images in this particular one that I was reading about, which is quite wild.
And the first version they use less picture, and when they create a new version they add more picture to it.
It just sounds like there's just so much capacity there. Like it can handle a lot of capacity and magnitude.
Yes, but as I think when you input more images, it will become more coherent. The picture will become more coherent too.
Okay.
So I don't know how they balance that, but yeah.
Well, you seem to be. You're going to learn. It seems like you're going to continue going along that direction.
Oh yes, for sure.
Yeah. So you're very excited about it. What was your experience like using Tokel platform? Obviously, coming with the history with the Komodo platform and all that. Go ahead.
Yeah, it went pretty smoothly. I used the app on Windows desktop, and yeah, it's pretty well made. It worked flawlessly for me. I tried to use also the command line just to see how it works too. But I prefer using the app so far because I'm more comfortable not doing any mistake with the app, because with the command line, sometimes if you do a mistake, maybe you can create a lot of, you can publish a lot of NFT at once using the command line, but if you do a mistake, they all screw. So I prefer to do them one by one, and that way it's safer
only
for me.
64, so yeah.
Yeah,
that's
only
cool.
64.
So you enjoyed it. You enjoyed using the Tokel platform?
Yes.
Did you mint any NFTs anywhere else before? No, this is your first one.
That was the first one I used, but then I went on other platform to compare how they work too.
And what did you find? Which ones did you use, if you want to say, or what was your general sense of things?
But I like OpenSea, the way it worked. It's pretty easy to use, and there's a lot of feature on the website too, and you can use many different blockchain. You can use Polygon, Ethereum. So it's a good example to look at. It's the biggest one, and for a reason. And I try a few other ones, but I was not as convinced. But for sure, Tokel will need a marketplace on the web. That's the only thing missing so far.
Well, there you go. So, and do stick around. We will have some Tokel platform news towards the end of the show, which is coming up sooner than later. Yeah. But that's cool. So it sounds like I think we've gotten a lot of feedback from you using it, and I definitely feel more comfortable thinking about and talking about AI and art and what's happening right now in this current space. And we were seeing them getting used for NFTs. Just wondering if anybody has any other thoughts surrounding this. Kelsey, what are you thinking right now?
Well, I think like there are quite a bit of NFTs being made with AI, so it's interesting to see, if maybe, people will tire of it or if it will become more exciting. I know that this technology will improve, and I mean, from what I've seen, like there's so many just amazing works of art being put out through this AI technology and minted as NFTs. So it's not like the artwork is bad. I think it's just like you had said earlier, Strobe, like it only takes a few seconds or a few minutes to generate these amazing works of art that would have taken a traditional artist days or weeks. I think it's just a really interesting time to be an artist, and especially an artist in the NFT space.
I think that's an interesting point, because do you think people will advertise their artwork in the future as AI generated, or at least tell people that they used AI as a tool when they were creating their art? Or do you think that people will just use it and people will be oblivious to it, or just assume that it gets used within the process at some point?
So far from what I've seen, they mostly advertise that it was made with DALL-E or a Midjourney. So they are advertising that it is made with AI, but I'm not sure if they have to contractually say that. I mean, I think it's good to be honest, though.
Yeah, definitely. And I think to go back to the point about it being the paintbrush, artists don't talk about exactly how they create their art all the time. Some do, and we'll go into detail on the process because it's super interesting. So, but I think at the moment it's definitely like a marketing thing where it's like, hey, we're using AI to create these artworks, and I think in the future it'll just become part of the normal process in some capacity, and maybe people will mention it, maybe not. I don't know. I guess we'll find out.
Well, there's also DeepMind AI, where you can ask it questions and it will give you a reply, which sometimes makes sense and sometimes not so much. But I think it'll be interesting
it's like talking to me.
Maybe to put the AI, the DeepMind AI, response into, Midjourney and see what that comes up with and kind of create this sort of loop of AI text to AI art.
Yeah, it's like that article that came out a couple of months ago about the two AI talking to each other. And then there was another article that came out about a guy talking to AI for a considerable amount of time and how disturbing that was.
Yeah, I've had some pretty interesting conversations with DeepMind AI. It's been kind of scary, but interesting. Has some interesting things to say.
Yeah, I bet.
Maybe I can add, you talk about mentioning which AI you use. I think it's the same thing for digital photography. Like photograph would say, I use an Nikon, I use a Canon. And I think it would be the same for AI. You just sometimes say it, sometimes not, depending on the context.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, that's definitely a fair point, Nutella, that you bring up there. And it does seem like there will be a certain ubiquity. It will become just kind of there, present in the background. And sometimes we'll know, sometimes we won't. And yeah, but that seems like a little ways down the road. Currently, we're at quite an innovative time. Do you so? What do you all think about AI's influence on the NFT space for the next bull market? Do you think that it's going to be again continued and maybe even magnified as a bit of a hype cycle, or what are your thoughts?
It'll continue to be used as a marketing ploy for the near future, in my opinion.
I think that it will actually make people sort of flock back towards the like the handmade computer generated NFT art, since there's so much AI art being minted as NFTs right now. But that's just a speculation that I have.
Myself, I think there are some very different, sometimes the different AI art that will pop up because that person use very specific tools that are not usable by everyone, or use he combines many different tools, and then you get a recipe that no one can have, and this will create a very mind-blowing image that you don't see anywhere. Those will sell, but for sure, if they all look the same, they won't sell. But or if you have a very good reason to sell.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think ultimately it will come down to the artist in that way, where it is still a process, as you described to us, Straub, that you go through a process just like any piece of art, really.
Yeah, and in the end, that's the idea that's the most important. Like if you have a very good idea that no one had, then you use AI to create the idea, or you use photography, or you use anything. If the idea is so good that it will create an impact in everyone's brain, so in that way you can sell. Like it's like the first time I saw Beeples creating images, I saw him a lot before he became popular. And I was thinking, wow, it's not very interesting. It just, because I was thinking, he just tried to create an image every day, but it's not always interesting. So I was getting bored, and I thought it was easy to create because he just put some 3D model together and poof, he create an image. And at the beginning, I think he was less good at it. But once he sold for 69 million, I was completely mind blown. And I also saw that he improved a lot in time, and he got very good because he never gave up. That's the one important factor. When you do something for many years and you never give up, and you create a network of fans and friends around it, then you can start selling it, and you can you add value to what you do.
Wonderful. Thank you, Straub. I think we are nearing towards the end of the episode. Um, Before we do go, though, well, we want to hear about some Tokel news. So let's get Nutella over here. and he's got some news to share about Tokel Platform.
Yeah, thanks very much. For all those that have been, keenly aware in the Discord, we've been working away on a couple of things, and I'm happy to announce that we've got a token explorer available for people to go and browse all of the tokens that are on the Tokel platform. So to date, people have been using the blockchain explorer, which is a bit clunky because it's designed for block exploring. This is a dedicated token explorer, so people can go in and search any of the tokens that are available on the Tokel blockchain, which is a pretty big step in the right direction for the platform. So super exciting news.
Yeah, very exciting news. So, yeah, what does this mean for Tokel Platform, in your opinion, Nutella?
Yeah, it's just another step in the right direction. So it enables people to go and browse tokens easier. You're able to link directly to whatever token you create. You have a direct link to an explorer, and it is a step in the direction of the marketplace. So as you'll see on the explorer itself, you can go and look at the token, and then it'll actually tell you whether it's for sale, how much it's for sale for, what the previous sales were. There's a direct link to open up the dApp itself, so that you can then log in and then use the decentralized exchange within the dApp to go and purchase it. So you can do a lot of that interacting without actually having to open your token wallet and explore through that way. So that's really, really good news. The website itself is
news.
Yeah, the website itself is exploretokel.com. So we have been working with developers and Kelsey as well for quite a while to put all this together. We're still ironing out some of the little bugs. So if you do see anything, please join the Discord and let us know, or create an issue in GitHub, which is where all of our open source technology lies. We would definitely like your thoughts and opinions, and our aim now is to continue to update the products that we've got available to try and make the process as smooth as possible. So we're really trying to target affordability, accessibility, and then ease of use are the three big things that Tokel is aiming to target. So
wonderful. Well, we thank you for that exciting news, and we'll keep an eye out for the further announcements. Is that right?
Yeah. We'll keep your eye on the Discord, engage in the community. We're always looking for community members to help out, being an open sourced community. So appreciate everyone's efforts up until this point. But yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Nutella. And speaking of everyone's efforts, part of this community, we have Straub again here, and we're going to say goodbye for now. Straub, where can people follow you and find out what you're doing?
On my website, strob.net, strob.net. That's my website. So you can go there and you will have the link. And if you want to follow my AI art, just click on my Twitter account link on my website too. Thank you very much.
Oh, yes. Thank you too. And thanks for making the Eye of the Komodo. And if anybody needs inspiration, just get yourself an Eye of the Komodo. And I'm sure it will go a long way towards providing that inspiration. So, Straub, wishing you all the best going forward. And thanks once again for being here with us today. And
thanks for having me.
Of course. And as well, thanks once again to Frank Jepkema. And we would now like to say goodbye. Join us for the next Tokel Talk. We'll have Maddie Greenspan here. And so check the announcements for further details. To keep up to date with the latest, follow us on Twitter at Tokel Platform and join our community in the Tokel Discord. All right, Kelsey, it's been great having you around as usual.
Yep, always happy to be here. And I want to thank everyone for tuning in as well.
Excellent. And Nutella, thanks for everything. And we look forward to seeing you again.
Yeah, thank you very much. Look forward to the next Tokel Talk.
Wonderful. And thank you everyone for listening. We'll talk again soon. Goodbye.